Hi everyone, welcome back for the second session on finite element analysis of shaft. So in this session we are going to solve the problem on a shaft which is having a uniform diameter with one end fixed. So the learning outcome for this session is to solve the given problem. So this is the statement of the problem. A steel shaft of solid circular section carries a torsional load as shown in the figure. So there are two torsional loads applied, that is 750 Newton meter at a distance of 2.5 meter from the fixed end and 1200 Newton meter at a distance of 5 meter from the fixed end. So I need to find out what is the angle of twist in this shaft because of the applied torque. Then I need to find out what is the shear stress in the shaft, then the reaction at the fixed end. So he has given the modulus of rigidity value, that is 80 gigapascal, and the diameter of the shaft he has given 60 mm. So let me make it unit uniformity. So applied torque is in Newton meter, then length is in meter, so I'll convert diameter also in terms of meter. So it is 60 mm, so it is 60 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. Then gigapascal, pascal is nothing but Newton per meter square, so giga means 10 to the power of 9, so it is in Newton per meter square only. Then before moving to the FEM approach, so let us try to solve this problem by MOM, that is mechanics of material. So to find the twist and shear, we need to find the torque applied at each portion. For that we need to go with the free body diagram. So let us draw the free body diagram. So this is the first portion here, and this is second portion here. So I'll start from the right hand side. So right hand side I have a counterclockwise couple of 1200 Newton meter. So this second portion, which is of 2.5 meter, and first portion is also of 2.5 meter. So to make this second portion equilibrium, I need to apply a torque of 1200 Newton meter in the clockwise direction. So this is an extra couple we are applying, that I need to nullify here opposite to that. So once again I'll apply with counterclockwise of 1200 Newton meter, but at the distance of 2.5 meter from the fixed end I have a torque of 750 Newton meter in the clockwise direction. So that is what I applied as it is. Then when I solve these two couples, that means one is in the counterclockwise and another one is clockwise, means I need to subtract one from the other, but I need to keep the higher sign value, I mean which is having higher value, that sign I need to keep it. So 1200 Newton meter is what having in the counterclockwise direction, therefore 1200 minus 750, it is 450 counterclockwise direction. So to make this first portion equilibrium, so I need to apply a couple of 450 Newton meter in the clockwise direction, so that my first portion is also under equilibrium. So this is how we can find out the torque applied on each portion, so that we can calculate the angle of twist and the shear stress. So in the next, from the right hand rule, either I have to use right hand rule or the left hand rule, we need to find out what are the torque applied on the first portion and the second portion. So this is the first portion, so I look for the torque which is there on the right side of the shaft of that first portion. So this is my right side, so which is 450 Newton meter in the counterclockwise direction, therefore it's a negative value. So T1, that is torque applied on the first portion, is minus 450 Newton meter, and T2, the second portion, once again I need to look for the torque which is there on the right side of our right portion of that second portion, so which is 1200 Newton meter, which is also in the counterclockwise direction, therefore minus 1200 Newton meter if it is for right hand rule. If you are using left hand rule, so I need to look for the torque which is there on the left side of that portion, so it is 450 Newton meter plus value, and this is 1200 Newton meter plus value. So only there is a change in the sign when you use the right hand rule and the left hand rule, but final answer will be the same. So first we need to find out the shear stress. So from the torsion equation, T by J is equal to tau by R, that we know, where T is the applied torque, J is the polar moment of inertia, then tau is the shear stress, and R is the radius of the shaft. Therefore tau is nothing but T into R divided by J. So let us substitute this radius in terms of diameter. So I have considered diameter as small d, so it is d divided by 2 radius. Then J is polar moment of inertia, as it is a solid shaft, so therefore the polar moment of inertia is pi by 32 into d raised to 4. Therefore 1 d will be get cancelled, and this 2, this is 16, that will go to the numerator, so it is 16t divided by pi into d cube. So this is what the equation to calculate the shear stress. Now to calculate the shear stress, I need what is the applied torque and what is the diameter of the shaft. So that is what shear stress in the first portion of the shaft I am calculating. Therefore equation is this one. So now as I am calculating for the first portion, I will put the suffix 1. So T1 is the torque applied on the first portion, which is minus 450 divided by pi into d cube. So now d I need to substitute in terms of meters, so that's what I multiplied with 10 to the power of minus 3. D cube is there, I'll apply cube here. Then after solving, this value will be minus 10.61 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter square. So that is the value. So 10 to the power of 6 is nothing but mega, therefore Newton per meter square is nothing but Pascal, so it is minus 10.61 megapascal. Similarly, I need to calculate the shear stress on the second portion of the shaft. So tau 2 is equal to 16 into T2 divided by pi into d cube, where diameter is same throughout the shaft. So that's what I simply considered it as a d, either d1 or d2, that will be equal to d. So while substituting the values, so it is 16 into T2 is minus 1200, pi into d cube is once again diameter in meters. So after solving this, I am going to get minus 28.29 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter square, nothing but it is minus 28.29 megapascal. That is what calculating of shear stress. Now I need to calculate the angle of twist. Now from the torsion equation, we also know that T by J is equal to G theta by L. From there theta is equal to 32. After substituting once again the J value as polar moment of inertia value for the solid shaft, that is pi by 32 into d raised to 4. After simplifying, I'll get 32 TL divided by pi d raised to 4 into G. Now first I need to calculate the theta in the first portion, then I need to calculate theta in the second portion. Adding those angle of twist, I'll get the total twist in the shaft. So that we are calculating like this. So theta at free end with respect to the fixed end. So I am calculating the theta at the free end with respect to the fixed end. That will be equal to theta in the first portion plus theta in the second portion. So finally I am going to get this. So this is theta at free end with respect to fixed end, that is theta in the first portion and plus theta in the second portion, where I need to substitute the torque applied in the first portion, length of the first portion, where diameter is same for both the portions. Therefore here T2 L2, when I substitute this, I'll get the twist in the first portion is minus 0.0111, and here I am going to get minus 0.0295. After adding these two, it is minus 0.0406 radians. So that is what my total twist which is there in the shaft at the free end with respect to the fixed end. Then I need to calculate the reaction. So we already calculated the reaction from the free body diagram. So in this first portion, the torque which is there on the extreme left hand side is what my reaction, which is counterclockwise 450 Newton meter. So these are the values. Now we are calculated using mechanics of metal. You try to remember the values so that we can compare those values when we will solve through the FEM. Now I'll start with the FEM solution. So in the FEM solution, the first thing is I need to do the FEM model. So this is what I have done, the FEM model, where two elements I am going to consider, where each element is 2.5 meter. Then theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 are the possible displacement, angular displacement, where T1, T2, T3 are the possible apply torques. Then first I need to calculate the element stiffness matrix for the first element. So we know my length is same, my G value for both the element is same, and J value is also same, because it's a solid shaft of uniform diameter. Therefore my K1 is equal to K2, and when I substitute the values of J, G and length of the element, when I solve this, it is 40.72 into 10 to the power of 3, and that matrix of 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 as it is. So keeping this 10 to the power of 3 outside, let us take this 40.72 inside the matrix, or even you can keep this 40.72 outside throughout the calculation, and finally when you are opening the matrix, that time you can multiply this 40.72 into 10 to the power of 3. But now I am doing taking this 40.72 inside of the matrix, keeping 10 to the power of 3 outside. So it is 40.72 minus 40.72, then similarly minus 40.72 and plus 40.72, and as it is related to the first element, the two displacement associated with the first element is 1 and 2. Therefore I'll write 1 2 horizontally, 1 2 vertically. Similarly, as I told, the polar moment of inertia, modulus of rigidity and length is same. Therefore my K1 is equal to K2, the same matrix, but there the two displacement associated are 2 and 3. Therefore I'll write 2 3 horizontally, 2 3 vertically. Then I need to calculate the global stiffness matrix. So my global stiffness matrix is K1 plus K2. So where K is equal to from both the matrix 10 to the power of 3, I'll take it outside. Now when I add 2 of 2, I'll be having two values, that is 40.72 plus 40.72, it will become 81.44. That is the value of 2 of 2. Then after getting this global stiffness matrix, now I need to put it in equilibrium condition. We know that equilibrium condition is K into U is equal to F, but here instead of U I have a theta, and instead of force I have a torque here. So it is K into theta is equal to T. Therefore K is global stiffness matrix, then theta is a displacement, angular displacement matrix. We have three angular displacement because I have three nodes there, that is theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, and that will be equal to the possible applied torques at node number 1 2 3, that is T1 T2 T3. That is what I have substituted. Then I need to apply the elimination method of boundary condition. When I apply the elimination method of boundary condition, as my node number 1 is completely constrained, therefore my first row, first column will be eliminated, left out with this 81.44 minus 40.72 minus 40.72 and plus 40.72. so that is what I have written here. Then theta 1 is eliminated, left out with theta 2 and theta 3, that is what I have mentioned here. That will be equal to the T2 and T3. So T1, I don't have any torque applied at node number 1, therefore it is 0. Then I have a torque of 750 which is making clockwise, therefore it is plus 750, and 1200 making anti-clockwise, therefore it is minus. So actually this is minus value here. Now when I open this matrix, it is 81.44 into 10 to the power of 3 into theta 2 minus 40.72 into 10 to the power of 3 into theta 3 is equal to 750. That is what my first equation. Then minus 40.72 into 10 to the power of 3 into theta 2 plus 40.72 into 10 to the power of 3 into theta 3 is equal to minus, there's a minus sign missing here, so it is that minus sign I have considered here, it is minus 1200. That is what my second equation. So as a simultaneous equation I can calculate these two equations in the calculator to know the values of theta 2 and theta 3. So after calculating I am getting theta 2 as minus 0.0111 radians. So that is what theta in mechanics of material we have calculated for the first portion. Then theta 3, that is the angle of twist which is there at the free end, which is minus 0.0405. Nothing but what is the theta, total theta in the shaft we have calculated, that is theta at the free end with respect to fixed end in case of mechanics of material, what we have calculated, that we are getting it as a theta 3 here. Then next I need to calculate the shear stress matrix. So considering the shear stress matrix, we can calculate the shear stress. So this is the shear stress matrix as we are remembered, as we are calculating for the first element. So it is G into R divided by length of the first element minus 1 theta 1 theta 2. These are the two displacement associated with the first element. So let us substitute the values, that is G 18 to 10 to the power of 9 radius. Now I have given the diameter as 60, so therefore radius will become 30, but that should be in terms of meters, so therefore it is 13 to 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by length of the element is 2.5 meter, minus 1 as it is, theta 1 is 0, theta 2 is minus 0.0111. So after solving this, so I am going to get the value of tau 1 is minus 10.66 into 10 to the power of 6, nothing but it is minus 10.66 megapascal. So if you remember, I am getting the same value using mechanics of metal. Similarly, I need to calculate the shear stress for the second element. Now please remember, while calculating the shear stress for the second element, I need to consider the displacement associated with the second element, that is theta 2 and theta 3. Now this G into R divided by LE square, sorry, G into R divided by LE of second element, that is length of the element of for the second, which is also 2.5. G into R, it is same, minus 1 as it is. Now theta 2 is minus 0.0111. Now theta 3 is minus 0.0405. So these are the values. After simplifying this, I am going to get tau 2, that is shear stress in the second element, is minus 28.22 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter square. Nothing but it is minus 28.22 megapascal. That is the shear stress. If you remember, I am getting the same thing in mechanics of metal. Then I need to calculate the reaction. So in FEM, to calculate the reaction, I need to consider the eliminated row. So only one row is eliminated, that is first row I have eliminated. The values in the first row is 40.72, minus 40.72 and 0. The 3 displacement, that is theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, that will be equal to T1. But I'll take it the T1 to the left hand side. Therefore, that is what my total reaction on the left hand side at node number 1. So let us substitute the values. Theta 1 is 0, theta 2 is this value, theta 3 is this value, and there is no torque applied at node number 1, therefore it is 0. Then after multiplying this 40.72 into 0, it is 0. So minus 40.72 into 10 to the power of 3, which is there at the outside, into this value of theta 2, plus 0 into this value, it is 0, so that I have not considered, minus 0, that term also I have eliminated. So when I solve for this, now the reaction which is there at the fixed end is 451.99, but when I come for the mechanics of metal, it is 450, exact 450 I am getting Newton meter. So here there is an error of 1.99 because some of the values are rounded off. Because of the round off value, I am going to get a error here, but I can still consider this is nearly equal to 450. This is how you need to solve the problem using FEM, and you can have the comparison in mechanics of metal. So thank you for watching this video.